Hi everybody, my name's Peter Knight and I'm the module leader for ESC 10039 Fundamentals of Physical Geography. Welcome to the module. As module leader, I'll be here throughout the module to help you if you have any queries or problems. My email address is there on the screen. Please don't hesitate to get in touch if there's anything I can do to help. So this first step of the module is all about getting you started and setting you up to do well. We're going to explain what we're going to do in the module and how we're going to do it. And the aim now is just to make sure that you know how everything is going to work. So any questions, please just ask. Your first job, if you haven't already done so, is to read the module handbook. Lots of essential information that you need to get started on the module and to do well in the module is in that handbook, so look at that first. It will tell you how the module is organised, it will tell you about the assessments, the fact there's an essay to do, there's a patchwork assessment to do, it'll give you the weekly schedule of topics, and it will also give you advice about reading and tell you where you can get help and support as you work through the module. So if you haven't already read the handbook, please go away and do that carefully before you move further forward in this step. The handbook will have explained to you that the heart of this module is a 12-step program of resources. In other words, we've broken down the resources into what we think of being weekly sessions for you to work through with the material that you'll need to complete the module. So the 12-step program is a step-by-step series of instructions and advice for working through the material. Each one should take you about a week and it should add up to about 150 hours total workload. So you might want to divide that up by thinking of each step as taking about 10 hours. That will add up to the 120 hours for the 12 steps, leaving 30 hours spare to finish off the final assessment on top of that step-by-step work. All you have to do is follow the steps to complete the module. If you work your way through, everything should work just fine. Time management, though, is really important. It is a 12-step program. You've got 12 weeks. We're working on the assumption that you're going to be doing it at the rate of about 1 step per week. But you do have flexibility to go faster or slower if other circumstances intervene, or if, for example, there's a section of the module that you find really difficult or really challenging, then you can spend longer on that. If there are sections of the module that you find very straightforward, then you can work more quickly through those. But it's important, if you don't stick to the weekly schedule, take care not to fall behind and get in touch if you feel at any point that you are likely to be falling behind. So like I said, as a 15 credit module, this should take about 150 hours in total for you to complete. Make full use of that time. If you find that you've got through the whole module in 24 hours, then clearly you haven't been doing everything that we're imagining you will be doing as part of the module. So take full advantage of the time that's available to do the reading, to do the research, do the work for your coursework carefully and thoroughly, join in with the discussion board, have conversations with me, with other students, and make sure that you're getting the most out of the module. As you work through, take notes, write things down, keep files of things that you've done, take notes from the online activities, take notes from your independent research, organize your material in a way that makes sense to you. That organization is going to be really important as the amount of material that you accumulate builds up through the module. Part of that material will come from listening to the sessions and working through the exercises online, but a lot of that material, a lot of the knowledge and understanding that you're going to gain during this module is going to come from reading. Some of the readings we will give you as set required readings, things that you have to read associated with each step of the module. But also there's lots of opportunity for you to do independent reading, independent research to find out about topics that we suggest as the module progresses. Now this reading is really important. It's a major part of the module. And I always say the more you read and the more you think about what you read, the better you'll do. You'll also find that the assignments are easier. Your essay and your patchwork, they will go very smoothly if you've done lots of reading, if you have lots of information to hand as you're doing those pieces of work, they'll go very smoothly. Whereas if you don't really know much, then it's going to be harder for you to do those bits of work. The more you read, the more you know. The more you think about what you've read, the more you'll understand that work. So make sure you do the set readings and make sure that you find additional material to personalize. Make sure you find additional material to personalize your knowledge. So what's the aim of the module? Well, hopefully the module will provide a self-contained introduction to physical geography for students from all sorts of backgrounds. We're not assuming you've necessarily done physical geography before. We don't assume you've got any experience in the subject, but we realize also that a lot of you will have some experience in physical geography. So this module should provide a foundation in the subject for students who already know a little bit about physical geography and want to pursue it to a higher level. The intended learning outcomes, exactly what we hope you get out of the module, they're listed in the module handbook. So have a look at those in the handbook if you haven't done so already, and keep those intended learning outcomes in mind as you're doing the assessments, because that's what we're looking for evidence of when we're marking the assessments, that you've actually achieved the learning outcomes that we're putting into the module. Overall, most important at this stage, we hope that you enjoy the module. We hope you learn a lot about physical geography, and obviously we hope you'll get a good mark for it. So what happens next? Well, you've embarked now on this 12-step program. You've made a start. Well done. Welcome to the module. So just keep working through, first of all, the resources in this step. Then when you've completed this step, you can move on to the next step. Make sure you complete each step before you move on to the next one. There are checklists and reminders throughout each step. Pay attention to those and make sure that you're keeping up with all the different activities that are involved in each step. So follow the instructions, complete all the exercises. Pay particular attention to the advice about steadily building up a collection of items for your patchwork assignment. Read about the patchwork assignment in the handbook, and we'll say a little bit more about that. We'll give you some advice on that later on in this first step. If you need help, well, if you need some individual assistance, if you've got a particular problem specific to yourself, then feel free to email me and I'll help you. But for most questions, if you've checked, first of all, obviously that the answer isn't in the handbook, the answer to lots of your initial questions will be in the handbook, so look at that. But if you've checked that the answer isn't in the handbook, the best thing to do is to post a message in the discussion board general Q&A forum on the module's KLE section. Other students will be pleased to see questions. I'm sure if you have a question, probably lots of other students have got the same question, so they'll be pleased to see you asking it. And also, I'll be able to post an answer there that other students can see as well. So it means everybody can keep up with the same questions and the same answers. And of course, you might be able to help each other. That's one of the great things about this kind of course, is that you can help each other as well as always relying on me to step in and help as well. So let's get started. You're ready to go. Write down some notes, jot down anything that you've learned that you hadn't thought of before from this session. If you've got any queries or questions, make a note of those. Look up things that you didn't know the answers to previously. Go onto the discussion board, ask a question, talk to students, talk to myself. Make sure you've got the dates for the assignments written down in your calendar. Keep up with things as we move through the module. Then when you're ready, just move on through the learning items within this package for step 1. Okay, well, thanks for joining in with this first lecture. If you've got any queries, please just get in touch. Thanks.